Hello friends, I am Prashant V Singh and you're watching ETNOW.in. Today's interview is very special. Why? Because we have a guest who is a renowned doctor. He's widely respected. He's a successful entrepreneur also. And now he's leaving no stone unturned in creating awareness about the varicose veins in India. He is Managing Director of Avis Hospitals, Dr. Rajah V. Koppala. Dr. Koppala, welcome to our show.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome to ETNOW.in. So first thing first, right from medical domain to entrepreneurship arena, how was the journey so far?
It's been a very exciting journey. It's been a wonderful roller coaster. So, to be fair, there have been quite a few docpreneurs. We call them docpreneur because entrepreneur, doctor, don't know.
Is this the buzzword?
That's the buzzword. We are called docpreneurs, and there have been a lot of docpreneurs. Dr. Pratap Reddy has led the way. Dr. Trehan has led the way, and there are probably another 50, 60 more doctors who have excelled in their field and also succeeded as entrepreneurs. Now, my drive was a little different. When I came back from US, in 2014, and when I came back, and I practiced there for 15 years, and what I noticed was that there was a distinct lack of services. So the whole entire medical fraternity is pivoted towards keeping the patient longer, building better beds, building better buildings, and all. And I wanted to exactly disrupt that. I wanted to have a system where you get operate in 10 minutes, you go home in 3 hours. There is no stay, there is no difficulty for your family or anybody else, and that's called daycare surgery. This daycare surgery concept had just taken off in the US in 2012. In fact, today, daycare surgery actually pays better than staying in the hospital in US. So I was the one who pioneered that.
Okay.
And you plugged in varicose veins because that's a very easy surgery to perform with very little awareness. Even to date, there's very little awareness about varicose veins. So I plugged that in and created a chain of daycare surgical centers across India. Today we have 22 centers pan-India, and we're doing very well. But that whole drive came from how do I disrupt the system? Had I come back from US and joined another hospital as a surgeon, I would have gotten a good salary and a pay and had a good quality of life. But this entrepreneurship drive made me disrupt the system, and that's what I'm very proud of.
Was Avis Hospital your first business venture at all?
Absolutely. I have had no business experience before Avis.
Nobody in the family even?
Absolutely nobody. Just first generation, first time that even people thought about business. In fact, people considered me really strange and foolish that I left So in US, the highest position you get as a doctor is called partnership. That means you own a practice in which you are one of the partners, just like you have it in the consulting business, right? So the partners is a big thing. So you actually grow into that 5-6 years you spend, then only you become a partner. So I became a partner there in US, above $1 million salary. It was very cushy life. But I wanted to come back and do something different, B is when I came back and I interviewed for a few jobs in the local hospitals and all, and I found the response very limited. Varicose veins kya cheez hai? How many cases do we do?
Maybe you mean to say a lot needs to be done?
A lot needs to be done, but nobody understood what I'm trying to explain here. I was going to each hospital saying, yeah, this one thing can become a huge business line, and then we need to spend into it, buy the right equipment. That's the second problem I face. Nobody wants to buy my relevant equipment and keep it there and all because they're so busy in cardiology, neurology, cancer and all. So I said, no, this is not correct. I know this business exists. I know it because there's a number of people. So today you'll be shocked when I tell you that 25% of Indians have varicose veins.
25%
of Indians have
That's a big data.
That's a big data number. So in this room alone, we'll have 2 guys.
2 guys?
Yes, absolutely. So that's the kind of common.
We'll discuss this after this interview.
Absolutely. It's very common. So we took that and I plugged the data number, and in all over India at that point, 2014, there were probably 5 guys trained. Okay. All over India, pan-India. So I said, this is a huge opportunity. The service need is incredible. So at that level, I entered the business. I didn't understand that business requires 23 licenses to operate. Daily they have so many issues. There's so much whatever it's called hustle, jugad, hustle that we talk about. Yes. But so much is required, but that was what I realized after I entered it. But I knew I was going to do it and I entered it, and then of course, you realized.
So you took up all the challenges head on, braved all weathers?
Absolutely, not a day goes, I keep sometimes thinking the big thing that you get is this much, but the amount of effort you go through to get there is a lot. So there is licensing. Unfortunately or fortunately, There are reasons on both sides, but healthcare is very regulated in India. Healthcare, to open one clinic, you need so many licenses. There are 23 licenses you require, unlike IT or some.
Lots of processes.
Lots of processes, lots of obstacles. Each state has its own set of processes again. So when I thought about this pan-India chain, I didn't know that the rule for ultrasound is different in Maharashtra versus Andhra Pradesh versus Tamil Nadu. I never knew all that. So, but then of course, every day you get up in the morning and there's so many challenges you face. But the big picture that, nobody's done this before. So today, I do approximately 450 varicose vein surgeries per month.
450?
Yes.
Okay.
My nearest partner does 30.
How long it takes for one surgery?
So initially when you started 2 hours, now 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Yes.
This is because of your expertise level, right?
Expertise and the number of equipment I bought. So the first varicose veins equipment I brought to India.
Okay.
In my suitcase from US.
Oh.
So from that point to today, where we have about 16 of them and 22 centers and all that. So this growth has been good. But also, the process development, improvement.
And your current figure of branches stands at 22?
22.
Okay. You started from Hyderabad, right?
Start from Hyderabad. Still, Hyderabad does a chunk. 45% of the surgeries are done there. But the rest of India, Kolkata, and Tamil Nadu, Bangalore, now Mumbai has also opened up. So all these things have really added to our national appeal. And when we...
Pan-India presence.
Pan-India presence, right? So our nearest competitor does 35. So when we look at that angle, we feel that we've done a lot of good work. And one day I hope this will become like eye care has chain of hospitals all over India. I think we'll have a varicose chain of hospitals pan India. That's my idea.
Now, doctor, a very important question that every startup faces: funding. How did you get that? So
far it's been self-funded. We operate very healthy EBITDA margins of approximately 36%. So it's been, I started very small personal money. So like I said, I'm the first entrepreneur. So when I came back, I put about 60% of my money aside for family and emergencies and 35 to 40% into the business. I started there. Luckily, it's been a one-man show and we've been operating very well. All our growth has been coming from internal accruals. Having said that, if we want to achieve our national goal, we may require funding and we are looking actively at some opportunities. As you know, because if you see the macro environment, some of the startups that don't actually make profits, they're losing the sheen. They're actually going down and they're burning very fast. Hence, the private equity money wants to move towards profitable companies. So for the last 6-7 months, we've had a lot of interest from PEs, investment bankers, asking us, what's your future?
You guys are also in active talks with the venture capitalists?
Private equity, yes. We are in talks with 2 or 3 private equity companies currently. But again, we did push out some as well because we weren't happy with the match. We said, no, we're not going to do this primarily because, they want a 3-year sellout or something. This can go IPO, watch me. Okay. And mark my words, in 7 to 10 years, we can do an IPO on this field because there's so many numbers there. So, if you would keep telling me that, I need a tag along in 3 years, 4 years, I invest in selling to a strategic investor in 3. Those things may not appeal to me. I want someone to stay the course and then, we can scale it to really, really big levels.
All right. So from this movement of varicose veins in India, coming back from the US to India to going public, what do you think that there should be any timeline for this?
Yes. So I came back in 2014. So I had a personal, my personal life goal is to completely turn your life 8 to 10 years, do something different and fun. So that's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately or fortunately, India entrepreneurship is a lot more effort than I thought. Definitely it took me more time. But yes, I think in the next 5 to 8 years, we should be IPO material for sure. So let's say we start in 2015 and another 8 years from now, let us say, that's in conservatively. So by 30 or 31, we should be able to go into entrepreneurship goal. So 15 years it takes, but yes, it's been a very exciting journey.
So you mentioned that your life has been, this entrepreneurship journey has been of ups and downs, lots of hassles, other things. So are there any valuable lessons that you want to give to the Gen Z people who are aiming to be a successful entrepreneur?
Sure. I mean, I also have another part of my career where I invest in startups as well. So I invest in healthcare startups and, I invested previously in Econ Care, Portia. So a lot of companies I have mentored to a degree. I've seen them operate. and of course I run my own little thing. I think the big thing we need to refocus back is profitability. If you don't have unit level profitability, it's very hard to keep on saying all that. I mean, there have been instances where companies have made money and they've gone public with a net loss, and they've made a good business out of it, and I'm sure they'll turn profitable. But that number is very few, and you're eventually chasing 1% success chance, right? Whereas your chance of being successful is much higher if you have unit level profitability. For every sale you make, you have to make some money out of it. And this whole theory that I will fund losses through some other source, and I will eventually sell billion orders and then eventually make profit can hit, but has a much higher chance of failing than hitting.
Okay.
So your probability of succeeding is far less there.
So you mean to say first make profits, then give lessons?
Absolutely. And if you haven't made profit, if you haven't made, haven't gone to income tax and had those 2 issues and the notice, that's how business runs. And if you see even today, the unattractive guys who run these traditional businesses, they make tremendous profits. Some guys like IKEA and Zerodha, they don't even have to publish the results. I mean, IKEA doesn't publish its financial results. It's one family runs the company. That's it. They don't publish the results. Nobody knows how much IKEA sells today. So that's the kind of, for me, that looks the most attractive, most glamorous thing to chase. Not some insert in a paper saying, you will eventually hit profit 4 years later. Yeah, but you're currently funding losses to a third-party source. That could be hard for me. That's my personal thought. I know people will differ with me. But I think whenever people come to me at my level for funding, I ask them one question: how many have you sold? And are you making a profit? 1. 2 is, in India, we always want to create the best product and then launch. Actually, N-1 is fine. Even a product that's just before iteration is fine, because there's no real IP for your N that you eventually get. It's your share of the market that matters. So you run very fast. So people tell me, I'll build this new medical equipment that look like the best thing and I need another 6 years. Well, yeah, but can you make it 5 years? That's the first question I ask. And can you make it little short of N? Fine, but go to market, sell few, and tell me what profit you made. Right? That is more important than eventually getting the best thing, right? Because finally when that comes, there's no IP, right? Somebody can copy you in 10 minutes. So eventually what matters is your market share, and you should go very quickly into market.
So doctor, in your business, feedback is very important. What's your take on this?
We have a statement in our company. We have it written everywhere. If you come to our office, corporate office, feedback is a gift. Feedback, somebody who tells you that this is not good today, is a gift for you to get better. Don't get defensive about it. Don't even push back at it. Just receive it first. First take it up. It's a gift. If someone gives a gift, will you take it? Yes. So you'll have to receive it first. Okay. And I always tell them, don't be a hippo, be an elephant. Hippo has short ears and a big mouth. An elephant has a big ear and short, small mouth. So always be an elephant, not a hippo. I tell all my staff, just hear them out. Your feedbacks, your customers, your suppliers, your vendors, anybody who's giving you feedback is actually giving you information, because the customer always has the option of leaving you and going for giving bad service.
Correct.
Instead, he's taking time and explaining what the problem went wrong. And that's where you actually have a chance to improve. Had he left, you lose business. So I always tell people, feedback is a gift. Take it like a gift, like gift wrap. Thank them profusely for giving it to you. That's my 2 cents.
Doctor, you started in 2015 with Hyderabad, and now the figure stands at 22.
Correct.
Now, what are your future plans for Avis Hospital?
So a lot of future for us. Like I keep saying, this is a sunrise industry for 2 reasons. One is there's a macro trend in healthcare, where we used to, like 20 years ago, we used to only worry about life-threatening diseases, like, heart blockage, brain. Now we're worried about lifestyle diseases. Lifestyle is, varicose veins, arthritis, knee replacements, all the same. I mean, a bad knee will not kill you, but you get knee replacement because you want to live a better lifestyle.
Correct.
Because we're living longer, we feel lifestyle is also important. So any country as it grows, modernizes, moves from life-threatening to lifestyle.
Correct.
So that's a macro trend that's hugely in our favor. The second thing we noticed is that we built this huge IP into this. Like, we are faster, our equipment is the best. Our advertising or our marketing is completely digital. I don't have a single sales agent in any of the 22 centers.
Everything is online.
100% of patients are acquired online. Okay. We have a call center with 74 people. Right? So all these things can make it easily replicable. If I want to open Guwahati tomorrow, all I have to do is translate my website, everything into Assamese and start. Right. It's like 2-day process. So the growth expansion can come in very fast. So given all that, we want to grow very rapidly because we've done all the hard work, we've set the whole MVP, if you know what I mean. And we're looking at we're at 450 surgeries today. In about 2 years, we would hit 1,000 surgeries for sure. And then much higher growth after that, almost IPO, like I said.
Doctor, you mentioned you are the first generation entrepreneur. Nobody in the family did business. So, do you have any business mentor?
To be fair, I never had any business mentor that I personally interacted with. Never had it. I've always been on my own. One possible reason for this is the doctors I have referred to before ran a very capex intensive business.
Okay.
All they have set up hospitals and buildings and all, and I didn't want to do that.
Okay.
So while I admired them a lot, I never chose that path. In my own view, one person that I sort of imitate my life, or rather would like to meet someday and exchange notes, is a hospital called HCG.
Okay.
They've set up a series of cancer hospitals. So single specialty they took.
Okay.
That is fairly intense. Eye care you can set up, but it's not so intense business, right? I mean, it's not so intense care. Whereas cancer care is very intense, but still they set up pan-India chain of cancer hospitals.
Okay.
So Dr. Ajay Kumar has always been my, sort of person I idolized. I haven't had a chance to meet him, but I've always followed their notes, how they've sort of grown, how they've set it up. Another company that I really admire, whose process I would like to follow and I do try to follow, is Indira IVF. They've also set up a fantastic pan-India chain of single specialty centers.
So, doctor, in Indian household setup, there are two professions which are highly respected and get good money as well: doctors and engineers. So, was it your childhood dream to become a doctor?
Yeah, I mean, so at a very young age, of course, they tell you that at home in South, especially, everybody wants to be either engineer or doctor. So it's a very common thing. But having said that, I quickly realized, so there was no doctor in my house for miles. So there's nobody.
No doctor, no entrepreneur.
No doctor, no entrepreneur. I have my own. And in a way, it helps, I think, sometimes. So I realized that very quickly that I have to impact lives. And I always say this, when I tell people that even a very mediocre doctor impacts at least 50 lives a day. There's a lot of opportunity to change people's lives. So I always kept that in the back of my head and used that for my career planning. I went to US, I went to so many countries, but I always said, if I go back with these skill sets to India, definitely there's a shortage and there's definitely a lot of impact that we can create for a lot of lives. So I always count that as my biggest contribution. Of course, like you said, we make money as well. In all fairness, nowadays, I don't think doctors make that kind of crazy money because of various reasons. But having said that, I'm very comfortable in my life. So, but I always say that's not my bank balance. My bank balance is how many OP have I seen today, how many OPs I've seen in a month. So I always feel that's the treasure that I've made. And that drives me actually, it makes me feel much better. You're always much more driven when you have a non-economic goal. Economic goals can be very short term, right?
So doctor, you have been a doctor, you are still a doctor, performing surgeries and everything. And now you are an entrepreneur also, you are a docpreneur. So did you figure out any mistake that most of the doctors are making today that you don't want to make at all?
Oh, absolutely. I personally feel very strongly about this. So if you see the country, these so-called corporates that we have built cater only 5% of the country. And the remaining who cannot afford them or whatever are supposed to go to government hospitals. And we know that doesn't work very well and we know all those issues there. So when a young doctor passing out from a good career, a good institute like PGI or foreign return or whatever, choose a career, their first attraction is to go to a corporate hospital. Fine. There, what drives them is a lot of non-patient forces. Some targets, something else, shares, whatever, What should drive you at any point in your life is the patient satisfaction and happiness. At wherever you are, you should do what is right for the patient.
Non-economic goal, you said.
Absolutely. Non-economic goal setting, which is basically, like if I'm a spine surgeon, I should think, in another 25 years, how will I have become and how will everybody come to me with the spine problem? Not what I make by next month. What happens is, you will be branded as commercial. There's a lot more internet penetration now. There's a lot more TV penetration now. People easily understand if you drive non-important surgeries or non-important medications or admit them unnecessarily for more days, people quickly understand and they get branded like that, and they'll never build a practice beyond that limit. And there'll be a time in which, after which, this sort of corporations will not be able to give you that kind of patient load also, because there's so much of democratization. Today at Avis, we don't ever market our wares. Everything is through internet, right? So people will slowly gravitate towards these methods.
And your hospital is 100% online.
100% online. There's nothing. We have never talked to an agent or anybody yet so far in our life, and this is very important. So this old times are changing. So young doctors should understand and embrace these ways. So if I'm a young doctor starting my life, I'll open up a clinic. I'll consult in a couple of hospitals, not be on their salary, take my patients into these hospitals, but drive my OPD. Become a small entrepreneur of any kind and every kind. Understand your finances. Use your finances well. Don't buy the biggest BMW in the first 5 years. It doesn't give you the freedom. You can't go to and start, Chal yaar, Raj, from tomorrow I'll not go. You can never say that, right? So I, for 12 years, drove a Hyundai in US, because I knew the minute I started buying a big car, a big house, a big golf membership and all, I'm stuck with those guys, right? I needed my independence and control my career. That's very important.
Thank you so much, Dr. Koppala, for your time and for such a candid interview on ETNOW.in. All the best for your future endeavors and Varicose veins movement in India.
Thank you so much. Pleasure's mine.
So that was the amazing interview of Dr. Rajah V. Koppala. We'll come back with more exciting interviews on ETNOW.in. You don't go anywhere and keep watching ETNOW.in.